welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian and this is Soul Divine Truth. So today's video is going to be about the health crisis, aka the coronavirus. I know this is a hot topic right now. This is what everybody is talking about. This is every inch of news. I mean, everything is all hyped and chaotic a little bit. And I wanted to, actually, let me just state this right now. This is not a conspiracy video. Although I do love a great conspiracy. I'm a conspiracy theorist myself. But that's not what this is going to be today. This is going to be a totally different vibe to inspire hope, courage, safety, and to really just more than anything, help people see from a better or from a different perspective about everything. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, people are afraid. I'm afraid. Who isn't afraid? If you're not afraid to some degree, or if you're saying you're not afraid, you're lying, or you're in denial, one or the other. I mean, rightfully so, man. We're only human. It's totally normal to be somewhat afraid in a situation like this. You know, we're afraid of the unknown. And I know that that's one of my biggest fears, is the fear of the unknown. Who isn't, you know? And not to mention that this will absolutely change and alter the course of our lives, possibly for decades to come. You know, just because things are changing, though, doesn't necessarily mean that we have to panic and give into the chaos, because I really do kind of feel that there's this element of overreacting. A lot of people are kind of taking it up 1,000 notches when it comes to overreacting. And that's not what we should be doing. Overreacting, giving into the chaos, giving into this fear-based mentality, that is going to just make us take 10, instead of taking 4 steps forward, we're going to take 1,000,000 steps backward. It's going to make the process hella worse for everybody. Like, let's just be smart about this, right? And so obviously the point of why the media was not sharing the whole truth about this from the beginning, although we all knew what was going on, but it really wasn't until like a week or two ago when they actually started like feeding us real information about what was going on, right? But the reason for that was to prevent what's going on right now, which is the mass hysteria and the chaos. You know, that's not going to make anything better. That's not going to provide us with more answers, and it will not solve any problems. It will, however, make everything so much worse for the economy, for people, for jobs, businesses, etc. And so if that happens, when things really start to take a negative turn in our jobs are being implicated, and like stores are closing down, and people are just kind of going into extreme chaos, extreme fear, that's going to be so difficult to recover from. It'll take years to recover from that, and we can avoid that from happening if we're smart about this. You know, just because you see or sense panic from other people, even if it's your coworkers, family, close friends, inner circle, whatever, or just from the media, just because that's all you hear about on the news, and just because that's all that you see on your Google account and your news from underneath is all about this coronavirus, it doesn't mean that you have to give in to the panic. It doesn't mean you have to give in and submit to the fear, right? You know, let's be better than that. I want to so bad, and I want to help people to see from a new perspective or a different perspective, because we can choose to be better. You know, let's set an example for other people to follow. Let's help inspire others rather than adding fuel to the fire. I do believe that life is all about perspective. Every aspect of life is about your perspective. You can choose to see, I mean, we have a choice in the matter. You can choose to see only the darkness or the negative aspects of a situation, or you can choose to see only the light or the positive aspects of a situation. Or like me, you can choose to see both sides, the light and positive, and I also choose to see the negative and the darkness of a situation, because I do feel that in a situation like this, there's always three sides. There's this side, what he said, there's this side, what she said, and then the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Things are not always as black and white as they may seem. It's just not that simple. Not to say that everything that we're being told is a lie. I'm not saying that at all. Don't take that out of context. I do believe that there is a lot of truth to what we're being told. I just think that there's many different versions of the truth, and I also feel that there's the other side of it, which is the unknown side of it. And so that's why I feel that it's really important to have an open mind, have an open heart, and to see take matters into your own hands, educate yourself. That's the most important thing that you can do, is to educate yourself, and doing the best that we can do is the best that we can do. So with that being said, I feel like I was saying, with the fear aspect and the panic and whatnot, I think it's being taken way out of control. I'm sorry, but with the toilet paper thing and the okay, so the Lysol is one thing, but with the toilet paper, can we just not? Why are people stocking up on 4 years of toilet paper? Is that really necessary? Is that necessary? I can understand having a limit to buying, having a limit to the amount of water that we buy. And I can understand why the shelves are completely clear of any Lysol or disinfectant spray and hand sanitizer. Those make sense. But toilet paper. And then, you know what? Some hobos on eBay, they're trying to take advantage of a crisis to make a quick buck. And I'm sorry, but no. Why? Don't be shitty. The more you're taking, when you're taking way more than you actually need, you're taking away from other people. You're taking away from other families, families with kids, and so let's not be selfish and shitty. That's not okay. We don't need to be taking 4 years worth of supplies, food, water, toilet paper, Lysol. We don't need that. And if we go into quarantine, which, it's happening all over the world. And I'm in Western New York, and recently there was just three verified cases in my county. And so it's very possible that we might be quarantined. Even if we are, how long do you expect to be in quarantine for? We're not going to be locked in our houses for the next 2 years. There's no reason to plan, let's not be doomsday preppers and be planning ahead for the next couple of years. So let's not take this out of hand. Let's not give into that. That's not okay either. So with that being said, how can we be better? How can we be better about this and take this, how can we see this from a better perspective, right? What can we do? What's the best that we can do? Well, the best thing that we can do right now is not to give into the fear. When you're living in fear, that means you're not living in love. When you're living with love, then you're not living in fear, right? Because when you're living in, because fear, it has the lowest vibration of energy. Whereas on the flip side of that, love has the highest vibration of frequency. You can't live in one with the other. You have to live in one without the other. You can't live in both. Now, I'm not saying living in fear is different than having fearful feelings. Living in fear, let me define that, and so that way you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Living in complete fear is the madness, the chaos, taking things out of proportion, out of context, taking advantage of a crisis to make a quick buck, like adding fuel to the fire and hyping people up to see only the negative side of this, right? But then when you're having, like me, normal, you're a little afraid of the unknown. That's normal. That's being a human, right? But what I'm trying to say and what I'm here to tell you is that you have a choice in the matter. You have a choice in which side you choose to be on. The moment that you give into the fear and the panic, you've already given away your power, right? And not to mention, living in fear also weakens your immune system, which is the opposite of what we want to be doing right now. What we should be doing is strengthening our minds, strengthening our bodies. And the only way to do that is if you switch your focus and see things from the other side, which is love, humility, compassion, unity, kindness, etc. So we need to be smart about it. We need to be smart. And I'm going to say it again. Be effing smart about this. Seriously. So we need to be conscious of the importance of protecting ourselves. That's the obvious thing. Okay, so the obvious would be to always, constantly throughout the day, be washing your hands, constantly sanitizing your hands, disinfecting your home, disinfecting your car, your workplace, etc. Because by protecting yourself, you're also protecting other people as well. It's not a time to only be selfish. It's a time to also be thinking of other people. And I do think that we have to be selfish to some degree. You know, a perfect balance of selfishness to selflessness is a balance of 60-40. 60% focusing on you, 40% focusing on others. So just having that awareness and being mindful of when you're protecting yourself, you're protecting other people as well. And not only that, but be willing to trust the process. There's a process to this. Nothing in good in life comes easy. There's a natural order to a situation like this. Yeah, it's crazy and it's intense and it's scary and not knowing what's going to happen. Knowing that so many lives are being affected by this. That's scary. Of course it is. But the more we fight it, the worse it's going to be for everyone. Okay, and now let's think of the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that they lock everybody in their homes and then we're all in lockdown for 2 weeks. Nobody can work. And things are just, that's really going to make the society is going to crash if it gets to that point. If we get to the point of where every single person in the entire world or in this country, so many things, it's going to be really hard to recover from that. But the more that we can the more preventative measures and steps that we can take to avoid that from happening, the better off that will be. To avoid that from happening, the better off that will be. but having an awareness to both sides. Like, okay, the way that I see it, rather than only seeing this as an epidemic, which of course it is an epidemic, it's a crisis. However, I do believe that this is evolution, right? Because this, and try to think of this like this is not the world ending. This is the world evolving. And with that being said, it's a matter of allowing for the process to happen. Allow the natural order of things. Doing your part to protect yourself, to protect other people. But you can't protect other people if you're not protecting yourself first, right? Just like when an airplane is about to crash, right? You put on your air mask before you put on the air mask of another person, right? We have to save ourselves in order to save other people. It's really important to see things from that perspective. But also, I really just also want to mention, because I feel like because of this whole coronavirus epidemic, we're also losing sight of what just happened in Nashville, Tennessee. So I want to pay homage to all of the people, all of the victims, all of the families that were who are personally suffering and who have gone through the ringer and just lost everything. And I also want to mention the people who are personally affected by the coronavirus. I want you to know how abundantly sorry I feel that these people, that you guys have to go through what you're going through. I'm humble and compassionate to what you're experiencing, and I feel that it's only fair for other people to see this from a humble and compassionate, kind standpoint. Like, think of the other people who are being affected by this. Like I said, we have to have a balance, 60-40. So 60% protecting yourself, and the other 40% give love to other people who are being affected by this. Like, the more that we can strengthen not only ourselves, but the people in your circle or other people in the world, the more that you can share that kindness and pay it forward, the better off we'll be. So yeah, I feel like it's really important to not forget the people who are suffering from this, and also to protect yourself so you are not the one who in the end is suffering from this. So I found these two quotes recently, and I really wanted to share them because I just think they're so appropriate for what we're all going through right now. So this one is by Pema Chodron. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. I'm so sorry. But the quote is really what matters. So, life is glorious, but life is also wretched. It is both. Appreciating the gloriousness inspires us, encourages us, cheers us up, gives us a bigger perspective, and energizes us. We feel connected. But if that's all that's happening, we get arrogant and we start to look down on others, and there is a sense of making ourselves a big deal and really serious about it, wanting to be like that forever. The gloriousness becomes tinged by cravings and addiction. On the other hand, wretchedness, life's painful aspect, it softens us up considerably. Knowing pain is a very important ingredient of being there for another person. When you are feeling a lot of grief, you can look right into somebody's eyes because you feel you haven't got anything to lose. You're just there. The wretchedness humbles us and softens us. But if we're only wretched, we would all just go down the tubes. We'd be so depressed, discouraged, and hopeless that we wouldn't have enough energy to eat even an apple. Gloriousness and wretchedness need each other. One inspires us, the other softens us. They go together. And the next one here, I love this quote. All right. There are two basic motivating forces, fear and love. When we are afraid, we pull back from life. When we are in love, we open to all that life has to offer with passion, excitement, and acceptance. We need to learn to love ourselves first in all of our glory and our imperfections. If we cannot love ourselves, we cannot fully be open to our ability to love others or our potential to create. Evolution and all hopes for a better world rest in the fearlessness and open-hearted vision of people who embrace life. And that was from the amazing John Lennon. Of course it is. Such a beautiful soul. With that being said, though, of course, we need to have a balance of fear and love, but the only way that the world is going to be a better place is if we choose love. And not only that, but like I said from the very beginning, it's a choice. It's a choice in which side you choose to be on, fear or love. You have a choice in your perspective and how you choose to see this. And I know which side I choose. Obviously, I choose love. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. But aside from that, I choose to be brave. I choose to have courage. I choose to be kind. I choose to use my strength to protect myself. And when I protect myself, I choose to protect other people. I want to help people. I want to set an example, you know, and if maybe this video can help other people have that mindset to also set a good example for other people to follow, just pay it forward. The more kind things that you do, the more nice, wholesome things that you can do for other people, it'll inspire other people to do the same. It'll start a trend. It'll be a chain reaction rather than a chain reaction going the other way. And it takes like 20 years to recover from. Let's not let that happen. How about we choose to be better than that, right? Just simple acts of kindness and protecting yourself, and be smart. Like I said before, be smart. Be vigilant. Be diligent. Be cautious. That's the most important thing. And also educating yourself. You have to educate yourself on all aspects of this. I think that's everything that I wanted to say about this. So I hope that this video resonates with you guys. I hope that in some small way I can help anyone who watches this. I hope I can make a difference in your thought process. I hope I can help you see from a new perspective that there's so much more that meets the eye with this whole situation. There's no point living in fear. You have a choice. It's one thing to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. We're human. Acknowledge those emotions that you have. Don't hide your feeling of being afraid. But when you give love to that feeling of being afraid and you see things from a different perspective and a better outlook, that's when good things will happen. That's when good and positive changes will happen. Okay, we just have to learn to integrate and be kind and love. Peace and love. Okay, anyways, that was stupid. But anyways, with so much love from the bottom of my heart to all of those who are personally affected by this, I truly, truly, truly wish you health, good health, and better fortune. Peace and love. Namaste. Stay tuned for more videos coming up soon. Thank you. Take care.